Hey everybody. Today we're going to look at the things that don't go away, because this is very interesting, particularly from the perspective of a non-dual conversation where, we sit around, nothing's real, there are no people, there are no issues, there are no problems, and yet there are these things or these people or these tendencies or these habits or these recurring experiences that are somehow there. Like we're getting that they're not there in the way they look to be there, that there's always more to see. But nevertheless, there are things that continually appear. And these might be things that make us defensive or uncomfortable, or that create conflict, or that we find ourselves doing when really, like, deep down we know that they're not the things for us to be doing. And so what's going on with that? Well, those are the things for us to see more about, because what's happening is that there's an unquestioned reality going on. And because it's unquestioned, the reality stays the same. And so it's continually difficult to pay the rent each month, or there's continual issues with the boss, or we always choose the wrong guy or the wrong girl, or we never find a way to flourish in our work, or it always seems like people are having more fun than we are, or we never seem to have friends, we never seem to get asked out. There's this reality that keeps appearing over and over again. And the risk with this conversation is that it's used as a way to just deny that. Like, we constantly find ourselves in bad relationships, and so this conversation comes in and says, well, there's no other people. Or we constantly get to the end of the month with no money, and, well, there's no such thing as money. So it comes in this conversation really to protect that reality. It comes in to, like, close down inquiry, close down conversation, close down curiosity, to say, well, it doesn't exist, don't have to look at it. But the reappearance, the constant reoccurrence of these things that cause that sort of there's something off, there's something not right here, there's something that it's not aligned with that inner core of joy and freedom. There's something amiss, and that's brilliant to see. That's brilliant, because that's the start of freedom, to have let go enough of this protective device that we can say, well, yeah, there is something going on. For some reason, I'm always in a bad relationship, or I'm never good with money, or I'm never being invited out with groups of friends. And that's massive. That's massive, to be able to open up the defenses enough to openly, bravely be with whatever seems to keep coming up in our lives, instead of pushing it away, pretending it's not there, or it's nothing to do with me. Or to be open to it is the start of freedom. And then the question is, what do we do? What do we do with it? What do we do with it? Maybe we just keep with that openness. Maybe that's the only thing, is to really start noticing the defenses that come up, noticing what it is that's being protected, what's behind those defenses, what is that idea of self that has to remain intact at all cost. And notice what would be risked by more openness in those areas. So for example, if it's tricky relationships, what would be put at risk by genuinely inquiring, genuinely asking people, can I come out with you? And what is it? Why am I not being invited out? Or genuinely asking people, what am I doing wrong with money? What am I not seeing? What do I need to learn? What are my blind spots? You know, that openness to see. So what is being risked in those questions, in that inquiry, is always an idea of self. Always. I'm poor, I'm unpopular, I'm crap with relationships, I'm crap at business, I can't get clients, I blah 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 blah. The fear is, without that, then what are we? I mean, that beautiful Marianne Williamson quote, you know, our fear is not that we're inadequate, our fear is that we're way more than those tiny tight identities, but it's so scary because that's all we've known. That's what's beyond there is terrifying. So the pattern, the reoccurrence, is information, and it's a prompt to see what is being held onto at the level of a self-identity that means this pattern keeps happening over and over again. That's what the pattern is for. And to use this conversation to try and push it away just means it comes knocking on the door all the more loudly. So openness to it, seeing what's at stake, seeing what is being protected, and then it goes. It can't exist anymore. That's change. That's where the change comes from. So patterns good. Patterns are good. Denial bad. All right, everyone. Big love. Bye.